Hello gamers, it's SoftKitty99 and today we're in Minecraft. We're back at our bright sunny yellow house which we completed the exterior of in the last episode. It was a two-part build. And here you can see the outside. It's on our corner plot in our builder town. And it's got a beautiful little pond in the back garden. As you can see, I've added a couple of little flower beds. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see. Just made them very simple. They're 5 by 3 and I've just added a few flowers sort of in alternating pattern around the edge and then just 3 of the peonies right in the centre, and I've added the same flower bed around the front of the house where we first started. So if we go down to ground level and come around, you can see it's exactly the same design here, using the end brick around the sides and the alternating colours around the edge, and then 3 peonies right in the centre. But I thought I'd give you a tour of the inside of the house so you can see the way that I've decorated it. Hopefully that will inspire you with your own interiors. So if we come in at the front door, which is at the side of our house, you'll see that you've got stairs up to the top floor and a door to your right and a door to your left. If you take the door to your right, this brings you into your living room. And if I go up in the air, you can see that I've made a great big sofa and 2 chairs. And if I come above the chair, you can see that I've used the blue wool around the edge to make a U shape. And then I've just used some brown wood right in the centre. This is spruce that I've used. It's just a very simple design for a chair. It makes it a very big chair to do it with full blocks of wool around the edge, but we've got quite a big room here, so that will take it. So if I show you the room from one side, little bookcase in front of a little coffee table in the middle of a little simple pattern rug. You can use this in any colours you want. The sofa you can see is 4, let's bring this back up, 4 blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks of the spruce, and then use the blue wool all the way around it again. Little 3 wide carpet there, very simple design for a carpet. Added the coffee table right in the middle. So let me just show you the entire room. So from one side there, and then we've used those scaffolding blocks to make a little bookcase. I think it actually makes quite a nice little bookcase, that does. So we come in here, we've got a little bookcase right next to it. We've got a very simple, beautiful plant. Used a cauldron at the bottom, and then just whichever is your favourite leaf to make it either 2 or 3 tall, depending on how tall your room is. Mine's 3 tall here, and I've used the jungle leaves. I've used the little lanterns for ceiling lights in the house. I've added 2 by 2 paintings along the wall there. A nice grouping of 3 just fits beautifully. And then I've used a portrait picture right above our 3 wide bookcase with some matching plants. As you can see, I've chosen the flower that matches the colour of wool that I've used for my interior. And because the wools are so yellow, I thought this blue was a beautiful colour. And if I pick up the wool, you can see it's the light blue wool that I've chosen to use throughout the house. And then if we come through to the other side of the room here, this leads us to a little door which leads into a cubby space underneath where the stairs are. So what I've done is I've had a little work table with the little workbench with the tools up top. This side is a nice one because it's got like a saw and a hammer on the side. This one with the pliers has a lot less detail, and it's a shame this side can't be rotated to be along the main length of the tool rack at the top, and a little workbench and just some storage. And of course it's also a shortcut to the back of the house, because those are the doors to the exterior of the house right here, to where we've got our flower bed and our pond. And right here in this back room I've kind of made it into a little mud room or laundry room, so I've just added a couple of little simple units. What I've used is the spruce wood, look, it's the one with the bark on all the sides, and then I've just added a spruce trapdoor on the front and a spruce pressure plate on the top, just to make it look like a proper little kitchen workbench, and added a cauldron for cleaning things So you probably have this as where you come in if you've got dogs or you've been for a walk in the mud, and you take off your boots and things and pop them here, maybe clean them here. You might need to wash your dogs when you come in, not have those muddy paw prints draped through the entire house. And then I've also added this big cupboard, so it's 3 tall on the spruce bark covered logs, and then the trapdoors on the front. I just think it makes a nice big storage cupboard. And then in the corner here, oops, close the trapdoors, I've used the barrels for like storage of extra items. I think they look really cool actually, those barrels, don't you? I think they look good in a kitchen. And again, of course, we've used the scaffolding for little shelves again here. I just think that looks really cool for shelving, that scaffolding block. And then if we come through in here, this is where we've got our kitchen. So of course the mudroom or laundry room always leads into your kitchen. We've got a little kitchen table here. Very standard construction. I've used the spruce fence posts underneath it and just put the blue carpet on top to keep the colour theme going throughout the house, and the spruce stairs as little chairs. Added some more paintings, and then I've used that same idea of the spruce bark covered logs. This time I've used the dark oak doors because I think they look a little bit more classy and fancy for a wooden kitchen. And then on the top you can use whatever colour carpet you like, or you can just leave the top blank actually, because it looks quite nice if you just use the wood itself. That looks like quite a nice countertop, but I like the added depth of adding the carpet on top to make it look like you've got that extra texture, because when you've got counters in your kitchens they tend to be higher than your door fronts, so I like the texture. That's why I tend to put the carpets in. And then you can do the same on the top for wall cabinets as well. So that's the way I've done that. So if we look along the full length, I've just gone the entire length of the room with these cabinets, apart from where I've added a cooker right underneath the window. I've added in a brewing stand, so we're going to pretend that that's a coffee maker. And then we've got a cauldron for a kitchen sink, and by the sink I've added the stone pressure plate so that you've got like a surface to use as a draining board for your washing of your pots and things. And I've got one on both sides just because that would be really hard to reach to put all your pots down to wash and dry, so this would be the more likely place. But you of course don't want the water to splash onto the top of your cupboard space and damage it every time. A couple more roof cabinets, and then I've used the traditional sort of style of fridge freezer, use the iron blocks and then use the iron doors on front of it. Make sure you get them so that the hinges are at the sides and the handles are in the middle, and you do that by standing on top of course of the iron blocks and facing this way and just looking down at the floor like that. And then going to the upstairs, I've put a little row of pictures above the stairs. I've used to use the little single ones. That was quite difficult to place because you have to put blocks all the way around them so that you get the small ones, and then be careful to make your spacing right as well. So I've just got one block diagonally between them, and they are 1, 2 full blocks above where I've got my stairs. So it's 1, 2 full blocks above, and then diagonally one space between each picture until you get to the top, and I've done that on both sides. And then at the top you go diagonally to that one and then use one space and keep one in line with the last one at this top little section. Right at the end of this corridor I've added a couple of stairs for a window seat. I just think that's really nice. I've always wanted a house with a window seat. And then if we go to the right, we've got the master bedroom over here. Again, I've used the scaffolding for a shelving unit. Used one of those little single pictures. A little bookcase. This time I've used the cornflower. Again, it's blue and it kind of matches. I've used a slightly different colour scheme here. I've used that grey that I used in the carpet down in the living room. I've made a little dressing table here using the grey carpet, and again you're still using the spruce. Put in a couple of double chests for storage of personal effects, and we have a wardrobe here for your clothes. Again, I've used that spruce. This time it's too tall for the wardrobe because that means that the doors can actually fit on the front rather than 3 tall like we had in our mudroom to make a big storage space. Here we've got the doors that we can open and close for our wardrobe. And then we have single piece of the scaffolding here with another of the cornflowers on top of it for just a little bit of colour and decoration, as with the pictures. And here we have our bed design. So what I've done is I've used the dark grey wool. I made it 1, 2, 3, 4 wide and 1, 2, 3 tall to make a huge centrepiece headboard. And then at the 2 sides I've put 1 block and put a lantern on them, so you've got bedside table and bedside light, and then put the light grey bed, a double bed, 2 side by side in the middle there of the headboard. And then around the edge here, following on from where the table is, I've continued the dark grey in a carpet, 1 row wide all around, and then the light grey all the way around that to make this beautiful centrepiece bed. And I think it came out really, really well, and I'm really pleased with that. So that is our bedroom. If I come up, you can see that section of the room there, and this section of the room here. And then if I come across here to the corner, you can see that it's a full block of the wool there for the headboard. The headboard like this works really well if you've got a big space like this. It wouldn't work in a tiny bedroom, I don't think, because you'd fill an entire wall, and I think that would look a little odd. But I'm really pleased with the way that this room has turned out. So if we go across the landing to the other side, I've made a little library here. So as you come in the door, we've got a big bookcase here. It's 3 by 3. Then a 2 tall bookcase right in the corner by the window. I've used some white banners just to add a little bit of colour to break up the feel of the room. I've made a big imposing desk here facing us. That's 2 by 3. I've used the stairs at the 2 sides and then the half slab in the middle to make this big desk, and then of course a chair using a stair at the back. And then I've added a 3 tall 2 wide bookcase again to make this big library, and then just a tiny little side table here with the stairs at the 2 sides and 1 slab right in the centre, and then just added a couple of portrait pictures to make this library just look, I think it's quite good actually. I hope it gives you some ideas to what you can do with the space inside this house. So if you think about it, the far side where we've got the master bedroom, I've just left the whole half of the top floor in 1 room, and over here I've split it into 2. So you've got the library, and you have to come through the library to access what I would class as a teenager's room maybe. We've got a miniature version of the headboard, so this is only 2 tall by 4 wide. Again, I've got the single blocks as bedside tables. This time I've got a light on one and a little plant on the other, and I've used the light blue again like we used downstairs for the accent colour. Again, I've made it a double bed because I just think it looks better. A single bed with one of these big headboards just doesn't quite look right, and a teenager would love to have the space of a big double bed. And then I've got a chest at either side of the headboard, one there and one over there, and then we were just stood up on a little desk or dressing table depending on how you want to view it. Another little wardrobe. I've used the scaffolding again for a small shelving unit. We've got a tiny bookcase, and we've got a skull on top of the bookcase. This is kind of why I think it's a teenager's room. But you could say that it's an action figure instead and make it a child's room. But as I said, you can do whatever you want with the house. And of course I've got the more scary pictures in this room. So I kind of think teenagers are a little bit into dark and crazy things. So we've got spiders, we've got a little skull, and then we've got a skull picture, yeah, and of course the skull picture's blue, so it matches everything else we've got in the room. And that is the interior that I made for my yellow house. So I hope that's given you some ideas about what you can do with the interior of this build. Hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. From Soft Kitty 99, goodbye and happy gaming!